Sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, right now, right here, sit down, right there, don't go.
Welcome back, we back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to a stay away crime and psychology video. Killer husband caught red-handed by wife's secret recordings. Damn. Secret recordings? What do you mean by secret? Life on some spots or some freak shit? Let's get right into it.
The man you're looking at with his mouth wide open is about to have his rights read to him. Apparently, he thinks that repetition will stop this already moving train.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law.
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all. I didn't do anything at all.
You could not afford a lawyer.
I didn't do anything. I didn't read my rights. You have to read my rights.
You can
Why
decide
you read my
whether
rights?
any time to exercise these rights.
Why you read my rights? There's no point. I didn't do anything.
This is Evan Smith. Evan is what police call a frequent flyer due to his long history of run-ins with the law, most of which revolved around his violent behavior. He also had an extensive list of drug-related convictions, which he had already spent many years in prison for. In this footage, he is being arrested for driving while under the influence. Evan is a prime example of how intoxicated drivers tend to lash out at the police while being arrested, as you can see from these clips as well.
I can't see his hands!
Don't you ever grab a cup like that again, bro. Do that.
However, the things Evan says while being detained suggest that being arrested for a DUI is the least of his concerns.
Is she okay?
I told you that. I don't mess. Chill out.
What do you mean you don't know? How do you not know? What do you mean? Yo, listen to me. I need to know if my girl's okay. I need to know she's okay.
Following his arrest, Evan was transported to the Falls Township Police Station, just 2 miles from where he was pulled over. At the station, police noticed that Evan's knuckles were bruised and that he had scratches on his face, neck, and chest. These injuries were consistent with defensive wounds, leaving police wondering what exactly happened to Evan. This arrest took place on July 2nd, 2021, just after 1 a.m. Hours earlier, on July 1st at 11:40 p.m., this call was received by dispatch.
What's the address?
I'm
sorry?
The call was dropped before the dispatcher could get any information, but they immediately called the number back, and Evan Smith picked up.
This is 911. We just received a call from this number. Is everything okay?
No, me and my girlfriend were drinking. We're doing drugs. Right now, she's unresponsive. I need help.
What's the
And
address?
New Falls End, room 29.
Evan frantically urged the dispatcher to send some help, talking over them while they attempted to guide him through CPR.
Come on, please.
Can you get next to her?
I'm right here next to her right now. Come on, please. Come here.
Okay.
Come.
Can you see if she's breathing?
She's not breathing. Come on. Come. Oh, my goodness.
Can you get by her side?
Yes, I'm by her side. Please,
Okay.
come.
He eventually calmed down enough to pay attention to the instructions given, finally performing chest compressions on his girlfriend.
Count out loud so I can hear you doing expressions. 1, 2,
1,
3,
2,
1,
3,
2,
4.
4.
In between counting, Evan continued to plead for assistance. His
I think he's doing the compressions too slow.
emotions were volatile, so it was crucial for dispatch to keep him focused on the task at hand.
1, 2, come on now, y'all.
Keep going.
Come on, y'all.
1, 2, 3,
Come
4.
on, y'all. Come
Keep
on.
going, sir.
This isn't the first time that the New Falls Motel had been the center of a drug-related incident. In January of 2015, police confiscated a total of 26 bags from a dealer that was operating out of a room in the motel. He was later convicted of 2 felony charges related to this illegal business. On another occasion, 3 more people were charged and convicted for illegally selling similar items, which resulted in someone accidentally overdosing in one of the rooms. Basically, police knew what to expect when responding to this scene, or so they thought. When they arrived, they made their way up the stairs to the 2nd floor of the motel. Upon entering room 29, they were met by Evan, who began running around the room, picking up random items, jumping on the bed, and screaming at the officers to save his girlfriend's life.
Keep going. Sir.
Please, sir, I'm here. We're here.
Alrighty.
The room was in a state of disaster, with food and personal items scattered everywhere and blood soaking the mattress. The unresponsive female was Evan's partner of over 18 years, 39-year-old Jamie Bagley. Jamie is a mother of 5 sons. She is known to be funny and outgoing, but also hardworking, taking any opportunity to help others. But the person that everyone knows and loves now had no vital signs, dying on the floor of room 29 at the messy New Falls Motel. She had scratches on her face and bruises on her body. Not only that, but there was blood coming out of her mouth, eyes, and nose. This set off red flags for the officers because it wasn't consistent with the many other drug-related emergencies that they had responded to in the past. Evan continued to be intrusive while the police took over performing CPR. He persistently asked if she was okay and gave no space for the officers to do their job.
Guy? Guy?
Sure.
You good enough? You okay?
Hear me.
Back up. Back up. You okay?
The officers asked Evan several times to leave the room, but he essentially ignored the request. They decided that the best course of action was to call in more officers to help control the scene. And Evan. One of the officers was able to escort him down to the ground floor. Everything was under control until the two got into a tug-of-war over a purse that Evan had taken from the room. The officer came out victorious, and Evan immediately ran away, hopped into a black Nissan, and fled the scene, nearly hitting the officer as well as the ambulance that was just arriving. Police chased him as he flew down Lincoln Highway at dangerous speeds with no headlights on. However, considering this reckless driving, along with the rainy weather conditions, all officers were ordered to stop pursuing Evan in the interest of public safety. Back at the scene, the paramedics managed to revive Jamie, and she was quickly loaded into the ambulance. She was taken to the Jefferson Bucks Hospital ICU, where she was put on critical life support. The police processed the motel room, collecting several pieces of identification, bedding that was stained with blood, and 3 cell phones, one of which was shattered. At the hospital, Jamie remained unresponsive, and the medical team performed a more thorough examination on her. During this exam, they found somebody's skin and blood underneath her fingernails. Also, in the tissue surrounding her eyes, they noticed petechiae, which are tiny spots of blood under the skin that can be caused by asphyxiation. In other words, it seemed that Jamie was actually suffocated. While medical staff fought to keep her alive, detectives from the police department and the Bucks County District's Attorney's Office worked to track down Evan. They started by sending police cruisers to the Penwood Crossing Mobile Home Park, where Jamie and the kids lived on Hunter Drive. Evan used to live with Jamie in this trailer, but she kicked him out 6 months earlier and had him stay at the New Falls Motel after he had physically assaulted her. However, she continued to meet with him at the motel, despite everyone around her telling her to stay away from him. Officers arrived at Hunter Drive, and running in the driveway beside Jamie's trailer was the same black Nissan that Evan had left the motel in. After a few minutes, Evan jumped back into this vehicle and sped off, the officers trailing behind him. They pulled him over on Tyburn Road, near Route 13. He exited the vehicle with his hands up and walked backwards until he was apprehended, bringing us right back to the body cam footage at the beginning of this video. It was immediately clear that Evan was intoxicated. Conveniently, this gave the police probable cause to arrest him for driving under the influence. But it seemed that Evan was well aware of the actual reason he was pulled over.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against.
I didn't do anything. Well, is she okay?
I told you that. I don't know. Chill out.
What do you mean you don't know? How do you not know?
Have a seat.
What do you mean? Yo, listen to me. I need to know if my girl's okay. I need to know she's okay.
As you already know, Evan was transported to the police station following this arrest. After taking the photos of his injuries, the detectives brought him into the interrogation room for questioning.
I was a part of the detective group that went to the hospital, okay, to be with Jamie and to try to figure out what's going on up there, okay?
She had nothing for you, did she?
I'll be honest with you, she's not speaking. And it's not because she's choosing not to, she can't speak.
No, it's not true. Why won't she speak?
Are you dumb?
It's not true.
Evan, I'm trying to figure out how this happened so I can relate to the doctors.
It's not true. Why would she not be able to speak?
Why do you think she couldn't speak?
Is she weak? Is she weak? Well, would she be able to speak? That makes sense.
The detectives remind him that the main reason he called 911 in the first place was because she was unresponsive.
Right now, she's unresponsive. I need help.
They then revealed to him that Jamie was actually clinically dead when they first arrived.
When you called 911, she wasn't breathing, right? That's why you called?
Yeah, that's how I felt, you know. I felt like she wasn't breathing. I couldn't say for sure, but I felt like that and I didn't want to risk it, so I hurried up and I called 911.
Okay. I can tell you she wasn't.
Why didn't you call 911?
She didn't have a pulse either.
Dumbass.
No.
Evan couldn't seem to grasp just how critical Jamie's condition was, so the detectives stopped trying to explain it to him. They were more concerned about getting a confession. They focused on Evan's injuries, suggesting that he was the one who hospitalized Jamie.
Evan, you're scratched up pretty good there. She wasn't trying to defend herself or get you off of her.
These aren't even all from. These are like.
I know.
These aren't even all from.
I looked. I had a good look. It's pretty obvious what's old, what's new. Okay.
Whatever.
As the interrogation went on, Evan became more and more dismissive of what the detectives were saying.
Do you consider yourself to have a bit of an anger problem?
No, maybe sometimes anyone can. I don't know. I think this is the biggest. I think it's the biggest thing I ever had in my life. Okay. Excuse me if I have emotions.
You seem extremely short-tempered to me.
Well, you seem.
It seems almost when you don't get your way, you immediately, burst into or have an outburst. And I could almost assume that if you're doing that with me and Detective Coolin here, I can see you would probably regularly do this with Jamie.
Evan downplayed his anger issues, but his cell phone history told another story. While this interview was taking place, a forensic specialist had been analyzing the couple's phones after they were collected from the crime scene. They were able to gain access to their recent phone history, which showed that Evan had bombarded Jamie with calls on several occasions, including just days before the motel incident. These calls made more sense when the police found all of the texts that Jamie and Evan had exchanged, which painted the picture of a roller coaster of a relationship. Sometimes it was clear that Evan was deeply in love with Jamie, and the two got along extremely well. But other times, Evan's rage would take over, and he would fly off the rails, threatening to kill Jamie and her family. The police also found video evidence of this ugly behavior on one of the cell phones. Just 2 days before the incident, while on a call with Evan, Jamie secretly recorded what they were saying with a second phone.
Of course you're supposed to do that. That's not what I want to do. It's not how I want. That's not how I feel. I'm upset.
It's the choice I have. Either stay with you and worry about getting killed every other day.
No. No, Jamie, this is deep, okay?
Tell me about it, Evan. I'm the one that's being abused.
No.
This phone call showed that Jamie was heavily considering leaving Evan after putting up with his abuse for years. Instead of apologizing or saying he'll do better, Evan had a meltdown at Jamie for sticking up for herself.
Come on, will you stop saying that, all right?
The fact that Jamie took this video in the first place was a good indication that Evan's anger issues were only getting worse. It seemed that she knew that it was only a matter of time before something bad happened and wanted video proof of this dark side of Evan. But back in the interrogation room, Evan continued to deny that he had anger issues and kept telling the detectives to ask Jamie if they don't believe him.
Talk to the girl and see what she says, okay? If that's the case.
I don't think you're understanding. We can't talk to her.
But
she cannot talk.
But she will, though.
She has a machine breathing for her. She is unconscious and is on life support from what occurred in that room while you were in there with her.
Nah, you did last time. I'm trying to.
Evan, look at me.
What do you mean there's a machine? There's no machine that's to breathe for her. No machine is to breathe for her.
Evan.
What are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. What could happen to Jamie? What, she's not going to be fine.
She could die.
No, she can't. No, she can't. No, she can't.
Oh, this motherfucker doesn't live in reality. Oh. That's disturbing. Life him? Life him? I don't know what else to tell you. Life him. This nigga's not living in reality. Talking about no, she can't. Like, bro, you're denying facts. If she wasn't breathing, before you was doing the compressions, when you was calling the dispatcher, and then after you did fake compressions, gang, and proceeded to damn near interfere with 12 doing their job and trying to get her alive. And now she on life support. You need to tell me something. No, she can't. Can't what? Not die? She not Jesus? Yeah. She not a zombie, gang.
No, she can't.
As much as Evan refused to accept what the detectives were saying, his demeanor began to change from this point on. It seemed that the harsh reality was finally beginning to set in. Jamie might die, and there was a good chance that he would go to prison for it. Evan seemed to realize that the best course of action in his current situation would be to confess. So he now spun a new story, but this time the evidence worked against him. He now claimed to have been fighting with Jamie before it turned into something more intimate.
Pulling, pushing, and choking each other. And I choked her too much this time. That's what I did. That's what it is. There's no more extra. There's no intent. There's no purpose. I did not purposely hurt Jamie. I love her, okay?
Jamie's injuries corroborated the strangulation aspect of Evan's tale, but the extent of her injuries, along with the defensive wounds all over Evan's body, made it clear that a struggle had definitely taken place. The detectives called his bluff, telling him that they were confident that the attack wasn't an accident. In response, he became defensive all over again, with his unstable anger problems seeping through.
I don't care what you think. How about that? How about that? How about I just give it to you straight? I don't give a what either. What do you think? I care about my girl. I don't care about what you're charged. I don't care what you do. How about that?
Clearly, Evan does care. If he didn't, he wouldn't have spent the rest of his interview trying to convince the detectives that he deeply loves Jamie and would never hurt her. Yet, that's exactly what he does.
Did anybody here tell you how much I love that girl? You go ask 3 different neighborhoods, from Falls to Bristol to Levittown. Go ask anyone that ever met us. Go ask anyone that deals with us. I love her. There's nothing here. There's nothing here.
Evan didn't provide any more useful details for the remainder of the interview. However, due to the injuries and his own admission of strangling Jamie, he was charged with aggravated assault. The detectives wrapped things up and escorted him to his cell. Evan's bond was set at $500,000, money that he didn't have. So he sat behind bars at the Bucks County Correctional Facility for 2 years while authorities continued to build their case against him. During this time, they interviewed Jamie and Evan's inner circle and learned more about the relationship between him and his kids. Evan was absent for most of their childhood due to his long list of convictions throughout the years. When he was around, his emotional instability usually caused problems within the family. For starters, every time he came back into Jamie's life, she would become more distant from her friends and family. Also, his constant intoxication amplified his anger problems, which in turn fueled his violent behavior. It seemed that everybody familiar with Jamie and Evan's relationship knew that if she didn't break up with him, something tragic could very well happen. And on July 4th, 2021, that tragic news finally came. 3 days after the incident at the motel, Jamie succumbed to her injuries. Evan's charges were upgraded from aggravated assault to homicide. Perhaps the most revealing piece of evidence against Evan came from Jamie's autopsy. On top of head trauma and a possible brain bleed, there were bruises to her neck and a fracture to her hyoid neck bone, confirming that Evan had strangled her to death with a significant amount of force. According to the forensic pathologist, it was apparent that she had clawed at Evan for approximately 2 minutes, at which point she fell unconscious. Evan then strangled her for anywhere between 2 to 10 minutes until she was dead. For Jamie's funeral, her family started a GoFundMe to help with the associated costs. It raised over $15,000 and to this day actively accepts donations to help secure her son's future. Leading up to Evan's trial, an inmate came forward saying that Evan had told him every last detail of what led up to the murder itself, and the lies that he told the police afterwards. Apparently, Evan had discovered dating apps on Jamie's phone and became upset. He told her that the next time she came to the motel room, he would kill her. Jamie stopped by to bring him food anyway, so Evan strangled her.
Jamie, what? Like, I'm not victim blaming, but Jamie, why would you not believe him? If he says he's gonna do something, he's clearly gonna do it, and not in a good way. Also, you gon' you was gonna take her life because she thinking about leaving you. Gang, it's right that she trying to leave you. You beating her. What am I not understanding? You're not treating her right. Of course she would leave. This is ridiculous. He said, he texted her, next time I'ma take you out the game. And you said, yeah, I'm still gonna pull up on him. Again, I'm not blaming you, but if you was gonna pull up on him, you should have pulled up on him with chop. Like he tried at you in the face. Well, let's proceed.
To death. The inmate also said that Evan admitted to fleeing the scene when the police showed up, and had later lied to them when he said he strangled her by accident.
There's no intent. There's no purpose. I did not purposely hurt Jamie. I love her, okay?
With an abundance of evidence and witnesses willing to testify, authorities now had a strong case against Evan. His trial began on September 5th, 2022. Over 3 days, several witnesses, including law enforcement officers, the forensic pathologist, a resident of the motel, and relatives of the victim, including one of her 5 sons, testified. Even Jamie's 15-year-old son, Evan, detailed 2 other domestic assaults, one in January of 2021 that left his mother bruised and battered, and a second on April 28, 2021, where his father set their trailer on fire. The prosecution ended off the trial with a powerful closing statement, saying, "This was personal. Jamie was leaving him after 18 years of torture and violence. The defendant killed Miss Bagley with evil in his heart and mind. If he couldn't have her, then no one else would." Ultimately, Evan Smith was found guilty of third-degree murder, aggravated assault, strangulation, recklessly endangering another person, simple assault, fleeing and eluding, and driving without headlights to avoid detection. Before handing down his sentence, the court heard impact statements from Jamie's family and friends. They all referred to her as a loving mother of 5 who was always there for them when they needed her. Her sister sobbed as she stated, "She was my best friend and biggest supporter." During her brother's statement, he said, "She was like the glue that held our family together. She is not a person that you can replace." Jamie's loved ones also expressed their anger and frustration that Evan showed no emotion during the trial. They called for the judge to sentence him to the maximum sentence, describing him as a manipulative monster who was a threat to society and a danger to his kids. He was later sentenced to 23.5 to 47 years in prison. He was ordered to have no contact with anyone in the family and was sent to the State Correctional Institute in Benner Township. 2 years after Jamie's death, on the morning of July 5th, 2023, Evan was found unresponsive in his cell. He was transported to the Mount Nittany Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at 2:23 a.m. Since Jamie's death, her family has held on to her memory while navigating the highs and lows of life. Her sons, Austin and Javian, graduated high school, and her son...
Hey, them boys graduated. Okay. This nigga think he G Herbo though. That's a problem.
Son Tommy has started a family of his own, visiting his mother's grave with them often. Her son Evan, who was unfortunately diagnosed with leukemia, continues to fight his illness. Thankfully, he has plenty of support from his family, who visit him daily, and set up a GoFundMe to help with any medical bills not covered by insurance.
Yeah, this is a wild ass case. Damn, bruh. Y'all dad was crazy. Actually, I don't even know if he was a father to all of the kids, but yeah, that nigga was insane. I'm glad y'all are doing well as a family though. Rest in peace to your moms. That's sad, bro. Um, don't stay in abusive relationships. I could say that, but I mean, at the end of the day, people going, they gonna make their own decisions. What I will say is, protect yourself, protect your family. Like, bro, if you know little buddy on bush, where you at bare minimum, and keep you a scrap, please. Cause like, as soon as you brought the food over, as soon as he would have tried the thing, you pop his ass, pop his ass. Um, that's really all my thoughts for this one. I mean, not much I can say. I'm happy little buddy got time, but I was expecting like, I'm talking about 47 years. No, I don't think he's gonna survive 47 years, right? But he shouldn't even get a chance. Like, if he even if he died and came back, nigga, he should have got reborn back there. Um. Oh, also, this nigga's a quitter. My bad. I'm a quitter. He quit. Like, brother, you know what you did. You admitted you did it. You told Shorty you was gonna do it. That's why third degree makes no sense to me because it looks premeditated. But that third degree might also include like not killing her with a weapon or something like that. To those along those lines. That's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
Everything I'm seeing, I achieve it, bitch, we best. Everything I'm seeing, I achieve it, bitch, we best. Everything Everything I'm seeing, I achieved it, bitch, you best believe it. It has been my Nintendo switch shit, though, kick it with my kinfolk. Haters just be talking, so I really do not need their info. Yeah, they info, yeah.